Tonight, Gillard continues to reign as leader after she survived the leadership challenge. Leung handing his nominations to join the chief executive race. Thanks for watching.
In the news ahead, the Keelty Report slams DEC's control burn procedures, and Fremantle City takes the lead to ban plastic bags.
This is the Evening News.
Good evening. Gillard has survived the leadership challenge after former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd wants his old job back. Ms Gillard survived the caucus vote after an expected large majority support from her cabinet ministers. Kevin Rudd was defeated by 40 votes, as he only has 31 votes, while Gillard has 71 votes. Ms Gillard says it's time for the Labour Party to unite and win the next election, while Kevin Rudd said he will dedicate himself to working for Gillard's re-election as Prime Minister.
Chief Executive candidate Leung handed in his nominations to officially join the race to be the leader of Hong Kong. DHK News understands that Mr Leung has secured 293 nominations from the election committee, shorter than his rival Henry Tang. On the other hand, possible candidate Regina Ip admits she doesn't have enough nominations.
Chief Executive hopeful Leung spoke to the press after handing in his nomination to the election committee. Mr Leung said he is able to obtain support from the financial service industry and other sectors. But Mr Leung stated that he will continue his effort to gain extra votes. His rival, including Henry Tang, who was hit with a scandal, has handed in 378 nominations to the election committee, while Albert Ho from the Pan Democrats handed in 183 nominations. Possible candidate Regina Ip has released her political platform earlier and will meet with election committee members soon in order to gain support to join the race. Poon, DHK News, Hong Kong.
Former Federal Police Commissioner Mick Keelty's special inquiry into the Margaret River bushfire that happened late last year was tabled at the State Parliament. An urgent review on the Department of Environmental Conservation's prescribed burning procedures was recommended by the report.
The Keelty Report on the Margaret River bushfire that destroyed more than 40 buildings and 3,400 hectares of coastal land was released last Thursday. The report found that the fire cannot be attributed to any single cause, but to a series of suboptimal judgments made by the DEC. According to the report, overworked and exhausted DEC staff resulted in a series of judgmental errors in a routine prescribed burn that led to devastating consequences. It failed to take into account the risks associated with reignition through a flare-up and escape of the fire. The DEC also mistakenly added more fuel to the burn on the 21st and the 22nd of November, despite reports of extreme weather forecasts for the 23rd. On the 22nd of November, a spotted plane pilot reported smoke coming out of the southwestern corner of Ellenbrook Block as a matter of high concern, but was interpreted and recorded as of no concern. A visual inspection from the ground on the same afternoon also failed to report any fire that had the potential to fully reignite. Despite calls for a total ban on the state's burning program, the Keelty Report finds no basis to do so, citing the benefits of prescribed burning far outweighing the risks. However, Opposition Leader Mark McGowan says significant questions still needs to be answered and proper compensation needs to be paid out to affected residents, since the government has accepted responsibility.
Mr Barnett needs to answer whether or not the Department of Environment and Conservation sought additional resources in order to fight these fires over the last couple of years. He's refused thus far to answer this question.
Shibs, DHK News.
The state government has introduced a bill to allow Sunday trading in Perth between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. With the support from the state opposition, it's likely that the bill will be passed in August this year. However, the Chamber of Commerce and Industry hope that other restrictions will also be lifted to allow Perth people to buy whatever they need on a Sunday.
It's the freedom that everyone in Perth has been long waiting for, getting out on Sunday to do some shopping. Shops will be allowed to be open between 11 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock early evening. Special trading precincts will be abolished. The Premier, Colin Barnett, believes that Perth citizens will be delighted about the change.
I support Sunday trading because the people of Western Australia want the right to go shopping on a Sunday. It is as simple as that.
Opposition leader Mark McGowan said that Colin Barnett refuses to meet him face-to-face to discuss. Yet WA Labor will still support the bill.
We said to the government, when I became the leader, we would support enhanced trading hours on a Sunday in the metropolitan area, and that's what we want to see happen.
However, Chief Executive of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry WA hopes that the unnecessary rules on good restrictions to be removed in order to allow people to buy whatever they want on Sunday.
WA business and WA shoppers need an assurance from the government and the opposition that whatever people are currently allowed to buy on every other day of the week should now be able to buy on Sunday. That's what Perth people have been asking for years.
Joe Corr, DHK News.
City of Fremantle is taking up environmental responsibility by planning to outlaw local retailers giving out free non-biodegradable plastic shopping bags. The Mayor says the legislation will be based on law passed in South Australia and the Northern Territory.
The City of Fremantle is the first council to ban single-use plastic shopping bags in Australia. Voted anonymously, the Council's committee wants to base its law on legislation from South Australia and the Northern Territory. The local law outlaws the free distribution of non-biodegradable plastic bags commonly found at supermarket shops.
Retailers will be able to still sell plastic bags, ideally the biodegradable ones, but they won't be able to give away for free single-use plastic bags.
Though towns such as Coles Bay in Tasmania and Mogo in New South Wales put policies into place to ban plastic bags, Fremantle is the first council to enforce this policy with a local law. The move, however, came from the Fremantle community itself.
We've got a lot of support from local retailers who really want to see this happen because I think it was one of those things that makes Fremantle a distinct place but also a greener city, which is what we're really keen to do.
Though this approach shows the city's green move, the bags need to be kept separate from the normal recycling, as the degradation process of biodegradable bags in landfill is very slow. Isabel, Huther, DHK News Australia.
Almost 2 years after the 8.8 magnitude earthquake and subsequent tsunami which affected 800,000 people, the reconstruction of housing in the area is still ongoing. But the Chilean government said 68% of reconstruction works were completed. Chile correspondent Ramir Perez has the report.
The Chilean government said that Friday 68% of reconstruction work were complete 2 years after the earthquake that affected almost 800,000 people. Just before celebrating the second anniversary of the earthquake, more than 2/3 of the country's territories affected has been reconstructed, says government spokesman Andres Chadwick. Chadwick said that 2010 earthquake affected central and southern Chile, causing 500 dead people and material damage officially estimated in $30 billion. Government has been criticized by affected families and the position of the slowness in the reconstruction works, but they reject such accusations. It's preparing several events to commemorate the earthquake's second anniversary in Santiago and Concepcion, the most affected cities. For DHK News, Brian Ramirez, Santiago, Chile.
Here's Alex Stelbovics with the top sports stories this week.
Thanks guys, and starting with golf. And Tiger Woods, who had been bidding for a first US PGA Tour victory in over 2 years, went out in the second round for a third time at the Elite World Golf Championships. He lost to compatriot Nick Watney, Hunter Mahan and Dustin Johnson, who all eased into the third round with commanding victories. It was his putting on the greens which let him down, begging the question as he gets closer, will he win another major? Or will his troubled past weigh him down for the rest of his playing career? Perhaps it is unlikely, although it is no doubt he will win on the PGA Tour again. Can he ever overtake Jack Nicklaus for the most amount of majors? It appears with every tournament that passes, this is becoming more unlikely. To the Europa League, an English Premier League side, Manchester United, have survived a late fight back by Spanish Premier League side Ajax, after Aris Osbilas pulled one back just before half-time. Having an aggregate advantage of 3 goals going into the match, This was reduced to just one goal when Toby Alderweireld headed a free kick through the net with just 3 minutes to go. But the Red Devils were able to hold on to win the match 2-1 and set up a head-to-head with Athletic Bilbao of Spanish Premier Liga in the last 16 for a place in the quarterfinals. And that's all in sports for this week.
Thank you, Alex. That's how the world looks tonight.
From the DHK family, good evening.
Good night.